Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who don't know me, I am Celine, I study film production in Berlin, and today we will be analyzing The Great Gatsby. The classic story, originally written by F. Scott Fitzgerald, has been adapted multiple times, but today we'll focus on Baz Luhrmann's 2013 version starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Carey Mulligan, and Tobey Maguire. Before we get into the film, let's briefly recap the book. It is set in the 1920s. The Great Gatsby tells the story of this mysterious J. Gatsby, a wealthy man who throws these extravagant parties in hopes of winning back Daisy Buchanan, the love of his life. The story is narrated by Nick Carraway, who is Daisy's cousin. He becomes both an observer and also a participant in the glittering yet hollow world of the American elite. The main symbols and the key scenes. The green light is for sure one of the most important symbols to me. It represents Gatsby's hope and also his unreachable dream of being with Daisy. It also connects to the color of money, showing how his dream is tied to his wealth and maybe even the idea that money can't buy happiness or love. Then we have the eyes on the billboard on the Valley of Ashes. That would represent the loss of morals in society. They seem to watch over everything, almost like a reminder that someone or something is looking, even when people think that they can get away with anything. Then there's the parties. Gatsby's huge fancy parties. They show the emptiness behind all of that wealth and excitement. Everyone comes to drink and dance, but no one really knows Gatsby or even cares about him. So it just shows how money can bring people together, but not in a real or meaningful way. And the ending, which I think is one of the key moments here, it shows how Gatsby's dream falls apart and how the American dream can be destroyed by greed and lies. It's sad, but powerful, and that's what makes this film or this book a classic, because no matter how hard Gatsby tries, he can't turn his dream into reality. And in a way, it shows that chasing illusions will only lead to heartbreak. Of course, you can find more of these symbols and hidden meanings on Spark Notes, but I just wanted to point out the ones that I think are the most important. Now, let's move on to the film adaptation. Hold on. Adio? Okay. Now, Luhrmann's adaptation of this is very, I would say famous for its extravagant visual style, the modern soundtrack, and this hyper-stylized cinematography. Now, I'll just point out some points and then we can get onto some examples by watching a couple of the scenes. The colors, they're very bright gold, silver, and deep blues dominate, I would say. These colors really represent wealth and desire to me. Then again, there's also the contrast between the East Egg and the Valley of Ashes, which visually emphasizes the class division. Then we head on to the characters, obviously all super famous actors. Leonardo DiCaprio, perfectly capturing Gatsby's charm, but also his desperation. Carey Mulligan as Daisy. She appears very fragile, but also dreamlike, exactly how Gatsby idealizes her. And Tobey Maguire as Nick, serving as the audience's lens, often overwhelmed by the chaos around him, but thanks to him and also obviously the narration, we are involved with him in the story. As for the setting, obviously these massive, beautiful mansions, the exciting New York nightlife, busy streets, and the fun parties. Every frame feels like a painting because there's just so much movement and excess. The music is modern artists like Jay-Z, Lana Del Rey are blended with like jazz influences to create like a mix of 1920s and modern day. It symbolizes the timeless story of The Great Gatsby, but I'm not usually a fan of when you make the old with the new so noticeably, I guess. Even though to me, it's a bit too much, because it's like, it's almost performative, but I know that it works with the scene and maybe it attracts more young audiences. Still, watching a movie set in the 1920s and then Jay-Z playing in the background is a bit odd at first, but it's not that terrible because it's aligned with Gatsby's mysterious but fairy tale-like story. I'll take it as is, but not my favorite thing, to be honest. Now onto the cinematography, or maybe like the camera work, I guess. There are a lot of fast cuts, sweeping shots, and digital effects that emphasize the artificial world of Jay Gatsby. I do think the use of slow motion and close-ups highlight emotions, especially visualizing Gatsby's longing for Daisy. I think it works very well, and it's also one of those classic slow motions with the drapes. Now, the way the symbols and the key scenes that I was talking about earlier when talking about the book, in the film, they're shown more or less the same way. The green light, it glows intensely. It's almost like a character itself, because we're like reaching into it, but we're never actually reaching it. The party scenes, I think the party scenes are very well shot, because they feel very euphoric, but also unsettling, especially at the start when we don't know who this Jay Gatsby is or looks like. And then the final pool scene that I was talking about, like the ending scene, it's tragic and symbolic of the death of Gatsby's dream. Now, grab yourselves a snack and get ready to watch The Great Gatsby with me. Look at this. Anyway, we're starting off with flashes of the green light. That obviously emphasizes the importance of it. From the start, we already get this mystical vibe. Nick starting to narrate the story. He's kind of talking to us already, which connects us to Nick, because he's in the story for us. So he's kind of like this gateway, the bridge. Okay, to be honest, I take back what I just said. The music fits pretty well. It's just that obviously when they dress all 1920s fancy, it's a bit weird, but on this montage, it works pretty well. The classic drapes, this is what I'm talking about. This whimsical, dreamlike entrance for Daisy Buchanan. Here we're building like anticipation. Oh, what does she look like? What is all of this for? The reveal. So here we get like this meta version of the story where he's the one who's telling and narrating and writing, but also he's in the story. Very vibrant colors, yellow, green, red, obviously. There's so much sound, so much music. Here we clearly get the American dream, what it's all about. It's the parties, it's the girls, it's the money, it's the drugs or like the alcohol. So obviously at the beginning it's very flashy and exciting and you want to be in it, you almost envy it until you get to the harder truth, I guess. Like they're just invited to this extremely fancy party. Everyone's there for their own reasons, let's just say. But again, no one knows him. So obviously now there's a bit of suspense because us as the viewer as well, we want to know who this Gatsby is, and insane party. The music is loud, everyone's dancing and joyful. Okay, now we're about to be introduced to the Great Gatsby. If people knew what he looked like, I think a lot more interactions would be happening, but here he just passed as a waiter and no one budged. So then obviously we think he's relevant until boom, we get the face.
See, I'm Gatsby.
His smile was one of those rare smiles that you may come across 4 or 5 times in life. It seemed to understand you and believe in you just as you would like to be understood and believed in.
Sorry, old sport, I thought you knew.
I think almost every character reveal is a close-up and in slow motion to just draw more attention on that character. There's always a reveal. There's always something. First the hand for Daisy Buchanan, so then you wonder, okay, like we see the hand, we see the arms, but who is the face to this body? For the Great Gatsby was the champagne, the fireworks in the background, so it was very grand. We're in a barber shop, so starting off with the white napkin, I guess, slow motion to the face, and boom, the reveal. Now the iconic scene of the two finally seeing each other after a long time. There's love, there's tension, there's dramatic irony with Nick looking from another room. The music progressing in the background helps, and I guess we're just drawn to the both of them. We had a little snippet of what they had before. I'm so far away from her now. Green light, get it? He fancies her, he's trying to impress her with the parties and the lights and the glitters. This is a very big contrast when we compare this scene to the scene where it was just full of music, full of everything, with the wide shot from the top. We're kind of like the ones peeking over and looking at the ground, like what's going on in this great mansion, and then this is what you get. It's dirty, it's brown, like not vibrant at all. And here he is in this big mansion, no one there to save him. Not only is he lonely, but he's always just looking looking across to Daisy, waiting for something from her. And I think that's why we get like this zoom in towards her home from a distance, and then him just going back, boof, into the pool, dying, not being able to reach what he wants the most, which is Daisy. We could talk about this for hours. I do think like these are one of the scenes in this film that you can really dissect, from its symmetry to the composition to everything about it. The start and the end of the film fits together quite well. Despite the emotional tragedy, we end and open in the same way, like there's continuity with the green light. It fits very well. It's a really good film, to be honest. At the start, I'm pretty sure we were zooming into the green light, and now we're zooming out, putting an end to the story. Was the adaptation successful? That's up to you to decide. When comparing with the book, it's definitely modernized, but even though the film modernizes the tone of the story, it doesn't lose Fitzgerald's critique of the American dream. It's not a faithful, quiet adaptation. It's very bold, loud, and emotional, but that's kind of what's supposed to make it unforgettable. Luhrmann uses style as substance, almost showing how dazzling appearances can hide deeper sadness, just like Gatsby himself. So overall, question of whether or not the adaptation was successful, I would say yes and no. It might not capture like every nuance of Fitzgerald's prose. It's grand, tragic, and human. So the combination of stunning visuals, strong performances by very good actors, and this emotional storytelling makes it one of the most unique literary adaptations of the 21st century, I would say. Because I can't remember what other adaptation. I think Haley Steinfeld was in it. Dickinson. Yeah. I watched a few episodes. Like, it's okay, to be fair. Like, I don't want to make a judgment because I didn't watch the whole thing. The episodes that I watched, and they kind of have the same modernization as we saw in The Great Gatsby, with like the music being modern, and like, isn't Wiz Khalifa also in this film? In this series? Yeah. Wiz Khalifa being deaf in a show, like, I don't know. I think it takes away from that seriousness of the... I don't know. But I guess this is the point that was probably intended. Not for me, because for me, visually, it seems very off. To see something set in the 1900s, and even the clothing of the women, the speech, but then mixing it with the modern day music, it's definitely risky, and I do get why some people would enjoy, because it's not like the actors are bad at their job, it's just everything coming all together. Please don't judge me for what I just said. But the point is, it's not for everyone. Me watching a few episodes of this gave me the same feeling that I had when watching The Great Gatsby for the first time. Is it necessary? Was it intended? That's left out to the open. Is it definitely a fun watch when you get to it? At least for The Great Gatsby, not like Dickinson. It is. I don't know if it's the actors or the overall way in which the scenes come together. I guess definitely watch it if you haven't already. If you did watch it, what did you think about it? Because, I don't know, I gave like a very quick, broad overview and summary of the whole thing. Obviously, some people can go much deeper in this. Like, you'll find so many different videos on YouTube about this. I guess my question is, do you think it was a successful adaptation or not? Thank you for watching. My battery is dying. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below as well. See you next time.